Hello, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to welcome you to our today's webinar. Our topic is IBCS Top 10 Quick Wins for Your Reporting. I'm Irene, Director Global Marketing at Longview, and I will guide you through the webinar today. Okay, my mouse now works. Also with me right now, you can see it in front of you, Peter Büskes. He's IBCS certified expert and BI consultant, and also with us is Harald Gordon, Senior Strategic Account Manager. Harald and Peter are both important contact persons at our longtime premier channel partner, Partic Consulting. Before we start, I would like to give you some information. During the web session, all participants are set on mute so that no background noise or echo can disturb. Directly after Peter's presentation, we plan a Q&A session, and I would really encourage you to enter your questions into the chat window. We will come to that after the session. For those who may not know Longview, please allow me at this stage to quickly give you an intro to our company. Longview, we pride ourselves to be the connected finance company. So what's our mission? That's easy. As a strategic business partner and as a connected finance company, we want the finance department to become a key driver of strategy and business performance within your organization. In other words, with our software portfolio for the key processes of today's finance organizations, we strive to provide a sound portfolio to transform the office of the CFO into a profit center. So let me see. Okay, with our integrated solutions portfolio, we offer planning and budgeting, of course, with Longview Plan. We have it on-premise or in the cloud. We have a solution for consolidation and close management, obviously Longview Close. Then we manage tax, including operational transfer pricing via Longview Tax. And last but not least, we manage dashboards, reporting and analysis via Longview Analytics. All solutions can be used as a standalone solution or a fully integrated solution. Oops, I'm sorry, my mouse really doesn't work today. So I wanted to show you a chart for our customers that doesn't appear, but we have customers from various verticals. The different verticals still bring one thing together. So no matter from which vertical these customers come, they all have one thing in common. They all suffer from the complexities of disparate data from siloed applications. And that's why we are here. And that's with our integrated solutions portfolio, we provide a comprehensive expertise in the areas of business and analytics and business intelligence on the one hand, planning and financial consolidation and tax on the other. We are also a pioneer in the field of visual business communication, and thus allows a fast communication and understanding and also collaboration of different departments when creating and interpreting data. So, and that's why we are here today. With the help of interactive dashboards, our partner Partic shows us how Longview Analytics enables a fast and reliable assessment and processing of important business data across different departments. But before we want to dive into that, Harald, would you mind and quickly introduce Partic Consulting to the audience?
Okay.
Okay.
Please hand over the screen to me.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. That
Here we
works.
go. Hang on a second. Okay. Hope you can all see my screen now.
Yes.
And you can hear me? Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody, at least in Europe. Good morning to colleagues in the United States, and good evening, or well, good night rather, to listeners in Asia. My name is Harold Gordon. I'm an account manager with Partic Consulting. I would like to give you a short overview of Partic. We are a small consultancy, but very focused on implementing and developing solutions for planning and reporting. In our 12-year company history, we have carried out more than 250 successful BI projects with large and mid-sized corporates. Currently, we operate with 25 employees from 2 German offices. Partic Consulting is a full-service BI provider. From analyzing our customers' requirement, providing software licenses and implementing software solutions, to training and coaching our customer staff and managing applications after go live, we offer a whole range of services. Here you can see the software portfolio which we usually use. We like to emphasize that we support the entire data flow, from extracting data from the backend, storing and preparing data in the data warehouse, to showing highly aggregated data in the front end. And this is very important because when, for instance, there's a problem in the front end software like bad performance, this usually is not necessarily a problem in the front end software, but often comes from the data layers underneath. In our projects, clients usually see us as some kind of a mediator between their technical IT people and the business users. These two groups tend to speak different languages, if you see what I mean. Our consulting team, therefore, doesn't only consist of computer scientists who take care of bits and bytes and architectures and things, but also business administration specialists who speak the language of your business users. Here you can see some typical applications where we usually support customers. For instance, in the reporting area, we do management information systems, dashboards, mobile applications, and so on. In planning, in non-financial planning, for instance, we have supported customers with HR or sales and revenue planning and so on. On the financial side, we have developed solutions for P&L and cash flow planning and so on. And more recently, we have been asked to support customers with analysis projects where we utilize modern methods like predictive analytics, for instance. Here you can see some of our reference customers, some of which we have been supporting for many years whenever they change their internal structure, whenever there are different new problems, they call us and we try to help them in their projects. Our company motto is quite easy. We call our work the creation of precision, and most of our customers say our work is indispensable to them. So that's all from me, and over to Peter.
Yes, hello. Irene just introduced me. My name is Peter. I'm going to show you around the IBCS Top 10 today and introduce you to the IBCS rules. I'm a certified consultant since 2014, and before that, I worked in the controlling department before I switched into the BI consulting area to the dark side. IBCS stands for International Business Communication Standards. and I'm going to introduce you to these standards using an application I built. I already opened it. It's about the Acme Ltd. It's totally, I'm going to pronounce this wrong probably, but fictitious or made-up company, so no real data in there. Yeah, and this is so there's no danger of finding numbers you know. Right, IBCS version 1.1, around 150 pages. I'm not going to show you all the 150 pages today. Don't be afraid. It's just the top 10. And but the rules are, or guidelines are all concerning the design of reports, dashboards, presentations. They cover different areas, areas of content display, report structure, and notations. And by applying the rules, we want to improve the perception and comprehension of information presented in reports or dashboards. The final aim or goal is actually to standardize business reporting internally and externally, or internal and external business communications. Why do we need standardized reporting? Standardization helps the recipient to faster comprehend the displayed information. It also makes it more easy for the recipient to understand the message presented within the report. And because of a unified notation, it significantly reduces the risk of misinterpretation. And it's not only helpful in standard reporting, but also in ad hoc reporting. There are some real life examples. The ones of you who have already attended one or two of the IBCS seminars or success seminars know them. It's music notes. Irina pointed out to me this morning when I did the German session that it would be nice to have some pictures. I didn't manage to get them in there yet, but if you want to, you can have a look on the IBCS homepage. There are examples, and there's a nice video as well for more background information. Music notes, engineers, maps, obviously, and street sites, they all show you standardized information. So the recipient of the information knows where to look and can easily comprehend the information. Right. So 150 pages. Now, I'm just going to show you the top 10. And these are the rules or guidelines with the biggest impact on the comprehension of reports and presentations, dashboards, whatever you want to do. And by implementing them, you have quick wins. They're easy to implement in Longview. I'm going to show you this later. A small amount of work and time is needed to invest, and you can use them for updating your existing reporting, or if you start a new project and want to start from scratch, and you can use them as well. Good. Before we start, one last slide. It's about the success formulas. Just to get that straight, you often hear the term success formula or success rules in the same context as IBCS rules or as synonyms as well. And actually, all the success rules can be classified into 7 areas. And the areas, the first letter of the name of the area spell the word success. So Professor Hichard introduced this term before there was IBCS. And we're going to go through it real quick. We have say. This is how you want to convey a message. Unify, that's semantic notation. This is what you're going to use when you're actually building a report. Make the same things look the same. Condense, increase information density. Same for report design, right? You don't want to have a lot of white space on your reports. Check, ensure visual integrity. Express, choose proper visualization. Simplify, avoid clutter, and structure, organize content. So just so you've heard these, and they can be actually grouped by, put into 3 groups. That's conceptual rules, say and structure, and semantic, that's unify and perceptual rules. All right. I'm going to show you all these rules using Longview, formerly known as Arclan. Arclan was the first software that was certified in 2014, if I'm not wrong. And they have been recently recertified as far as I know. So all the charts and tables you will find in the IBCS rules can be actually built using Arclan Longview. For those of you who don't know Longview yet, actually in the application we have a header right here, and the navigation right here, and then we have the ribbon bar over here with the standard Longview functionalities, share and export center, comment, bookmarks. You can switch the language, right, between German and English, or whatever you want to switch between. You just have to fill them in, and user information, and that's about it. Okay, I'm going to close this because I will navigate using my little arrows up here, and we're going to start with a basic profit and loss statement. What we see right here is a table with all my accounts on the left, and then we have two blocks, one with the actual period, the one I've selected right here. We have our selectors right here, and then last year's period, June, as well. And then right here, there are the deviations, absolute or total deviation, and the percentage. And we have the same block for year to date. We're not starting from scratch. I did a couple of things to the table. I got rid of all the grids, the grid lines. I made the column a little bit wider. I made the rows a little bit higher. I highlighted the sums, like the sales revenue in here and the calculated values, operating profit. I highlighted these. So it's not perfect, but we can start with this. Besides our filters or menus, drop-down menus we have up here, which we use to navigate the report to the coordinate we want to look at. We also have the title over here. And just to show you, I have 3 years in this reporting application with 12 months, 2 different legal entities with divisions and 2 different currencies. Okay, now, number 1, messages, reports, and presentations have messages. Present them at the top of each slide or report. You don't make reports just for fun. You want to convey a message, right? Otherwise, it would be just statistics. So if you make a report for the board, you want the board to know, for example, we have less wholesale revenue in June 2019 than in the year before. So what you can do is you can write this here. I actually used the text object right here, so I can format it. And for example, just say June 2019 wholesale less revenue, minus 191 million euros, right? So I can do this, format this, do this if I want to, right? It's going to forbid you, I'm against it, but you can format that red and save it. So then we have our comment saved. If you want to, or message saved, if you want to, you can use actually the Longview or Arclan workflow engine together with this. So the reports are only available once the comment process or the message process is done, right? So, but you don't have to. You can do this, but you don't have to. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, titles. We basically do this every time we export a PDF or a PPTX or PowerPoint, right? We always write the coordinate in the bottom of the page of the slide. But IBCS will say, don't write them at the bottom, write them at the top, right below the message. The title identifies the pages, charts, and tables. Organization, unit, measures, and time periods. Identify where you actually at your coordinates. So yeah, what I did right here, this is basically the information we have in our menus or in our filters. So I just built a little overlay here that allows you to close and open your navigation and also have your titles right here. by doing it like this, you can easily use one of the standard functionalities, export a PDF, and then you basically have your PDF, your report, right? You can do the same with PowerPoint. This opens down here. And I haven't really put a lot of a template behind it, because actually if we design our reports the proper way, we don't need a template behind this. We could, if we want to, fill in the logo of our company or things like this, but you don't actually need to. All the information you need is right here. Good. And well, the last one, Excel, it's always important for controlling our accountant division. They always want their numbers in Excel so they can crunch them or calculate new values and do whatever they want to do. So for this slide, I actually implemented Excel export. Pretty easy to do. So we're going to close this. So what we have so far is titles and messages, and that was top 10, 1, and 2, and now we're going to jump to 7. I'm not going to do the original order because I'm kind of hanging to this table, and the next one is 7. That would be scenarios. Scenarios is basic because we always want to compare values. In usual, you have in an application or a report, you have at least actual, a budget, and last year, previous year, and if not, various forecasts. And for the user, to make it easy for the user to identify what he's looking at, we have this color coding right here. And the IBCS standards, it says use solid for actual, light solid, dark solid for actual, light solid for previous year, hatched for forecast, and just a border or empty for the budget. So by applying this, my table will look like this. I have my actual column highlighted black, and then the light gray for previous year. Same with year to date. Charts. This one is important to me because charts actually make it easier to understand what is presented to you or what the report builder wants to tell you, to understand the message. What I've done right here is I've just replaced the first 2 columns, the previous year's June and this year's June, with a waterfall chart, and I think this makes it a lot easier to read. On one side, we can see this year is not really good. We're having a very bad year, and last year was -9, and here's the actual figure missing. That's a little error in here, but usually it should send here. The color labeling we had for the different scenarios we also can find here in the axis. We have the light gray in the previous year axis and the dark gray in the not dark gray, black, the dark color, dark solid in the actual period. Right, what else can we see on first sight? Basically, it's all about wholesale, direct, and products don't really count. Other revenue as well not. Sales revenue is not this good years here. That's missing the figure again. Yeah, and there's room for improvement, right? What I didn't do is, for example, I didn't highlight the calculated figures. In my opinion, you should do this. I missed this. Highlight this. Use a light gray to underline it, or just two lines to highlight that there's that there's their calculated value. Okay. Besides actual and previous year total values, we can also take a look at variances. So we have 2 types of variances: total variance and a percentage. And for the total value, we can use the same type of chart as we use for the actual values, only that red and green have a meaning. Red is bad, and green obviously is good. So we have more revenue in direct sales. So this is plus 130 million euros, and that's colored green. And the wholesale is colored red because it's less than the previous year. It's about the meaning, actually, not only the value. It's the meaning it has to the company, right? Okay, so another thing we have right here, when you work with small and large amounts and big changes, you often have high percentage of deviation, and usually you shouldn't cut excess, really not should. But if you build a report like this would destroy the whole picture, because the 280 would go, I don't know, up to here, and everything else you can read. So what I did here is I indicated with these two little arrows that we are actually not looking at 218, but it's cut right here. What you could also do, what's often done, is use a little magnifying glass as an icon to show that there's some cutting in the axis or the values. Right. 3, we jump into the new report. What do we look at? I've already commented on this. We're looking at sales by country, sorted, and we have 2019 year to date, actual, forecast, and budget, but you don't see budget yet. This will come later on. At this, we have structure in this report. So structure is displayed vertical right here, and what we see is one graph for Europe, starting with United Kingdom, sorted, going to Russia, and then rest of Europe. So we're not missing any countries. We're looking at whole Europe. And the same we have right here with the world, starting with Brazil, going to Canada, and rest of world. By the color coding, you can see the scenarios. We're looking at actual. This is January till June year to date actual. And then this is the forecasted value until the end of the year. And I had a little problem here showing the figures, because when you try to write a value into this hatched one right here, you can't see anything. Doesn't matter what color you see, you take. So I decided to show the value of the forecasted value below. One can argue you could do the same, or better do the same with United Kingdom. Yeah, sure, always room to improve. And right here we have the total value. So United Kingdom target for the actual year is 190 million euro. Okay, now 3, time and structure. I just said structure is always vertically, and you should order your structure if you can by showing the important stuff first. And revenue, that's the highest revenue, and cost, that's the highest cost. Or margin, so you could order them and decide which way you can order them. And time is always shown horizontally. So what we see here is 2018, 19, 20, 20 budget, 19. If I didn't do anything wrong, all these numbers should add up to 1,292,000. And then we have the actual right here. Same thing here. I didn't know actually how to actually show the figures, so this is a little workaround, but I'm not really satisfied with it. So there's room for improvement as well. Okay, next one. Number 4, time periods such as years. Oh, there's a spelling mistake. Sorry. Time periods such as years, months should be identified by different categories. So what we see right here is our year graph from the right side and the months on the left, and you can see the months is narrower and the year is wider. And this also applies for weeks, quarters, half years. There's actually, I think there is a guideline in the IBCS Standards. You might want to have a look at that, how this could look and what the actual scaling could be. But I'm not sure. I know we looked at it as one of the seminars, but I'm not sure whether it's in the guidelines or not. Then we have this one right here, scaling, very important. Right now, we're using the same scale for both graphs. Before, just any. So now we can see the relationship between the values, and that the month values actually is obviously a lot lower than the yearly value. This is not usually important for months or years, but for different structures, different identities, where you have information about sales, for example, for different business units on one page. And this can actually, if you don't focus on scaling, can actually mislead a lot. So this is very important. Then there's number 6, labels. You might have noticed in all the reports I've shown you before, I rarely have X's. What I have is the values right at the blocks of the graph of the chart, and then the labels right next to it. So I don't have a vertical axis. What I do have is a horizontal axis with a color coding. So we have 2018. It should actually be gray. It's black. 2018 is the past, and then we have 2019 forecast, 2020 budget. So the color coding actually works also with the axis. And again, switching right here shows you how important scaling is. Okay, number 10. We're jumping into another report, and 10 is about highlighting. We already have the message at the top of the report, and we have the coordinates in the titles. But to underline or to give more information for the message, you can use highlighting in reports. Again, we're looking at the chart down here. We're looking at the same information before, so it's a lot of different ways to show the same information. And we added the information about the business units, direct, retail, and wholesale. And if you want to highlight it, I actually implemented a little. It's in German. Sorry, didn't switch the language. By clicking on a table, that's if you're interested in how it's be done. By clicking on a table in front of it, you set your coordinate, and then the information is given to a chart in the background, and then the chart actually is refreshed and click wrong, highlight that. And then I can highlight this and also save this and send this out, right? So this is about highlighting. It's actually pretty cool, pretty fancy. It's not perfect yet, but I'm working on this. I think this is pretty nice, pretty neat. Okay, so one thing I forgot in the German webinar this morning is our report books. You can actually just create a report book with all the reports in your application. I just did this, report book 1, and then you can share that report book as PDF and Excel, as PDF and PowerPoint, sorry. And I'm opening PowerPoint in the back. Right, so there's another little arrow in here. There's one missing, but nonetheless, it should open. Where is it? Not working? Sorry, let me try it again with PDF. I did it with PDF this morning and it worked fine. So try this again. No, so I messed up. Sorry about this, but it actually works pretty nice. Let's close this. See whether this opens or not. Ah, this opens, right? So there's a little error on one of the slides, but it actually opens in the back, and it's really nice. And if you designed all your reports right with the right width and so on, you can actually just create that and send that, or create an email, send it away if you want. Okay, so now that I've shown you all this online in the actual application, I want to show you what Longview actually brings to you from scratch. I'm going to open the designer real quick here on my development server and open the application that I've shown you before and open a new document. So Longview actually comes with a starting set of IBCS charts. By clicking right here on Insert, sorry, German again, Quick Steps, and IBCS Charts, we can actually create a report close to the one I've shown you really, really fast. I'm going to use this one, actual and budget comparison, and click on select, and then what it wants is the base values, but I haven't done a database connection yet, so I'm going to just ignore this. And there we are. There's our chart. And in the back, see on level 3, we have all the relevant information, all the relevant data objects for the chart. So I can just do my my database query and then link that on base values and values to subtract. And then the chart is basically done, and you don't have to worry about it, how it looks like and how you can do it. Same with the deviation charts. No, where did it go? I think it went here. There it is. Move to document layer. There it is. So no, my mouse is not working properly. There we go. And last but not least, do the same thing for the percentage deviation. So there we have it. It's not pretty yet. You have to work on it, but it actually is pretty fast, and you don't have to worry about where to start. You can use these. The number of reports, the number of charts is actually limited, but you don't have to stick to them, right? So I'm going to open a new one. We actually made a couple of them. All right, what about the time? Am I still on time, or am I too? Time is fine. All right. So right here, I have my Partic quick steps, and I'm going to use this candlestick right here, and ignore the query because I just want to show you how it can look like. This is not actually 100% IBCS, right? But it's close. We have actual values or previous year values, depending on how you format it, and then we have the deviation right here, plus and negative. Red and blue, green, obviously not blue. And then just one more, because I think it's pretty fancy. That's the waterfall chart. All right, so here it is, waterfall chart, vertical. We also have that horizontally. Now, how does this work? You can see in the back. Let's go in the back real quick. That where is it? Right here. We can fill in values for our dynamic format. You can actually format different scenarios within the application file, within the application app. When you go to File and then Application Settings, sorry again, German. Then we have the dynamic formatation for whatever right here, and we can decide how a certain scenario will look like. What's the color? What's the symbol? What's the border? The margin? The packing? Text? How it's going to be formatted, black or fat? And let's see, what do we have in here? We have previous year. Let's change previous year to not the gray. Let's take light blue, for example. Right, light blue, more or less. No, this one, not this one. Okay, and save. And we go back to the front. And if I didn't mess it up, we have all our values in light blue. So you can actually change the colors, but I would advise you not to play around too much with the colors, because colors, you're limited in the number of colors, and at least red and green are no-goes. Okay, so that's me. Irena, go back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, so far. Would you be so kind as to switch to the poster where we can see the overall 10 points or quick steps, which help us from a IBCF or from an information design perspective to design our reports. That would be great.
Just
so
a
maybe.
Second. There is. Just to be sure, just to be frank, this is from the IBCS homepage, right here. So if you want to buy it, you can buy it right there in their shop, or you can have a look at it. This is just a screenshot. Right. There we are.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I've got a question. So far, I don't see any question from the audience. So if we want to stick in a certain way to our company design, so you mentioned there not to play around with too many colors, so but we can put the logo in, and we kind of can differentiate our company from others, because I know that these reports are all also used for shareholder information and so forth, for your balance sheets, and so companies. I know that companies like to have their own CI presented in the reports.
Yeah, sure. You can implement your own CI for the actual or the budget if you want to, but you actually have to be a little cautious, because the number of colors you actually have is limited, right? You realize once you introduce color that you're limited in the number of colors that actually look okay in a reporting, and red and green is a no-go in my opinion. Don't change that. But if you want to have your actual in light blue, go for it. No problem.
Okay, and when it comes to the quick steps, I've seen that Longview has a predefined set of possibilities to show the different business scenarios. Let me put it that way. So,
yep.
Are they given with Longview itself, or do we need more? Can we create ourselves some, and do we need? Can we do it on our own, or do we need a consultant? What's your recommendation here?
No, you're not limited to the dynamic formats you have. For example, you might have more than one forecast, right? So you just, again, sorry, German, you just click here on insert or copy from, and then you have a new dynamic forecast. You're not limited to the numbers we have right here. I actually introduced two, that's comment and comment highlighted, which I actually missed to show you, but it doesn't matter now, where you can comment on cell basis. I introduced these. Concerning your project, you can do it on your own if you want to, but actually we're willing to help, because you need a little background information to actually know what to look after and what are the bumps where you could hit, and you need a little help. For example, do a workshop, I don't know, 3 to 5 days, and then decide on whether you want to pursue your project and do a more accurate estimation of how much work you need to put into it, and if you want to, and if that's worth it for you.
And is there a rule how long it usually takes to implement IBCS-like reportings if you start, let me say, from scratch?
No, not really, because every reporting is different, right? I don't know what you want to report. To do a standard P&L or balance sheet shouldn't be that much. But if you want to do a sophisticated reporting for your board, this can be, I don't know, like 20, 25 reports on a monthly basis. I can't tell you how much time we need to do this, because we don't know the database. We don't know whether we get all the data from scratch, or do we have to look at it for it and work a little bit on the back end. That's really hard to say. Do a workshop, 3 to 5 to 10 days, depending on how big your project's going to be, and then you know. It doesn't really matter whether you start from scratch or you want to change your actual reporting you already have, because when you start from scratch, you do everything new. And if you want to change your existing reporting, it's a little less, because you already know what to report. So you can just switch the chart types or the table, or format the table once and then copy it, do a quick step for the table. It might be a little less, but no, I can't say a value. Sorry.
What is, to your view, the biggest advantage of using IBCS?
That's actually pretty easy. To avoid misinterpretation of information given to the report recipient by the report designer. By having standardization, the recipient, the guy who gets the report, the board knows where to look at, how it's going to look like, and it easily sees variations or differences between the period before and the actual period. And you can't really put a price tag on it because you don't know what decision you might do wrong. But by standardizing the reporting, you make the step in the right direction to avoid misinterpretation of your data and making the right decisions.
Okay, cool. So so far I don't see any further questions. Let me check from the audience. Okay, Harald, is there anything you would like to add, or are we fine? If we are fine, just let me know, so then we can give back the audience a quarter of an hour. Just
I would just like to say thank you to all the listeners, and hopefully we could give you some ideas of how to improve your reporting with the help of IBCS. And again, thank you very much for listening and for your time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Harald. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have enjoyed the webinar. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact our speakers and, of course, Longview. You will shortly receive an email with the relevant information, that is with a link to the recording, of course, and also with a link to the presentation, which you can download for your further procedure. We hope you have enjoyed the session today, and we hope to see you soon for another webinar. Thank you so much, and have a great day, and goodbye.